You're standing at the edge of a winding path, and the evening air is settling around you like a soft blanket. The sky above holds that particular quality of twilight, not quite day, not yet night, where the blue deepens into something rich and comforting, like velvet against your skin. You've been traveling for what feels like a very long time, though you couldn't say exactly how far you've come or how many days have passed since you began. That doesn't matter now. What matters is that you're here, at last, at the place you've been seeking without fully knowing you were looking for it. The path before you is made of smooth, worn stones, each one rounded by time and countless footsteps before yours. They're still warm from the day's sun, and you can feel that gentle heat rising up through the soles of your shoes, or perhaps you've already slipped them off. Yes, that feels right, and the stones are warm against your bare feet. Not hot, never uncomfortable, just warm, present, real. Each stone seems to hold the memory of sunlight, releasing it slowly now as the evening comes on, and there's something deeply comforting about this. About the way the earth itself seems to be offering you warmth. You stand there for a moment, just feeling the stones beneath your feet, feeling the air on your face, feeling the weight of your body after all this traveling. Your feet are tired, you realize. Not painfully so, but tired in the way that comes from carrying yourself forward day after day, step after step, when you weren't always sure where you were going or why. But now those tired feet are on these warm stones, and the warmth seems to travel up through your soles, through your ankles, up into your calves, bringing with it a message that your body understands even if your mind is still catching up. You can stop now. You can rest. The path curves gently ahead of you, disappearing around a bend where tall trees grow on either side. These aren't trees you need to name or identify. They are simply there, ancient and solid, their branches reaching overhead to form a natural archway. The leaves are thick enough to create a sense of enclosure, of being held, but sparse enough that you can still see fragments of that deepening sky beyond. As a breeze moves through the canopy, the leaves whisper to each other in a language that doesn't need words. A soft, constant susurration that sounds almost like the ocean, or like breath, or like both at once. You listen to that sound for a while, letting it wash over you. It's been so long since you've stopped to listen to anything so simple, so natural, so free of human complication. The leaves aren't trying to tell you anything. They're not carrying messages or warnings or demands. They're just being leaves, doing what leaves do, moving in response to wind, breathing in carbon dioxide and breathing out oxygen, participating in the great exchange of life that happens constantly, quietly, all around us, whether we notice it or not. The breeze that moves those leaves touches your face now, and it's cool but not cold, refreshing but not harsh. It carries with it all the scents of early evening, the smell of earth that's been warm all day and is now beginning to cool, the green smell of growing things, the faint mineral scent of stone and water. You breathe it in, and the breath goes deeper than the shallow breathing you've been doing for weeks, for months, for however long it's been since you felt truly safe enough to fill your lungs completely. You take a step forward, and then another. There's no hurry. There's nowhere you need to be except here, on this path, in this moment. Your body knows this, even if your mind is still catching up. Your shoulders, which have been carrying so much for so long, begin to drop just slightly. Not all at once, that would be too much, too sudden. But gradually, almost imperceptibly, like ice melting at the edges. You might not even notice it happening, but it is. With each step, with each breath, something is beginning to shift. The path is wider than you first thought, wide enough for you to walk without watching every footfall, though narrow enough to feel intimate, personal, like a path made for walking alone or in quiet company. The stones continue beneath your feet, each one slightly different from the last. This one a little rounder, that one a little flatter, this one with a slight dip in the center where perhaps water once pooled, that one completely smooth as if polished by a loving hand. You notice that between some of the stones, soft moss has grown, deep green and plush, creating natural cushions. When your foot lands on one of these moss-covered spaces, it's like stepping on velvet, on something alive and tender and giving. The moss doesn't complain about your weight. It simply compresses slightly, welcomes you, and then springs back when you move on, ready for the next footfall, the next traveler, eternally patient and eternally resilient. On either side of the path, you begin to notice small wildflowers growing, not planted or arranged, but simply existing because this is where they belong. They are closing now, preparing for night, their petals folding inward to protect the delicate parts inside. But some are still open, still catching the last of the fading light, and you can see their colors. White ones that almost glow in the twilight, purple ones the color of dusk itself, yellow ones that hold onto the memory of sun even as the sun slips below the horizon. You pause beside a cluster of these flowers, and you bend down slightly to look at them more closely. They are small, each bloom no larger than your thumbnail, but they are perfect in their smallness, complete in themselves, needing nothing from you but also offering themselves to your gaze, to your appreciation, should you choose to give it. You do choose to give it, kneeling down now on the warm stones, bringing yourself to their level. From this position, closer to the earth, you can see even more. Tiny insects moving through the grass beside the path, going about their evening routines, preparing for night in whatever way insects do. A small spider sits in a web stretched between two grass stems, the web catching the last light and making it visible, strands of silk that are engineering marvels, sticky in some places and smooth in others, designed to trap prey but also to flex and give in the wind without breaking. You watch the spider for a moment, this small creature living its small life with what seems like perfect competence and no self-doubt whatsoever. It doesn't wonder if it's building its web correctly, doesn't question whether it should be doing something else, doesn't carry anxiety about tomorrow or regret about yesterday. It simply is, sitting in the center of its creation, waiting with eternal patience for whatever comes. There's something about this. About the flowers closing for night, about the insects going about their business, about the spider in its web, that touches something in you. Life goes on, you think. Life continues. Not in spite of darkness or difficulty, but with it, through it, incorporating it into the rhythm of things. The flowers don't resist the coming of night. They fold their petals and rest, trusting that dawn will come, that they'll open again when it's time. They don't fight what is. You rise slowly from your kneeling position, feeling your knees protest slightly. You've been holding tension there too, you realize, locking them, bracing yourself, standing ready for whatever might come. But here, on this path, you don't need to brace yourself. You can let your knees be soft, can let them bend slightly as you walk, can let them do their job of absorbing impact and allowing movement without turning them into rigid posts that refuse to give. As you continue walking, you become aware of sound layering upon sound, creating a symphony so gentle you almost didn't notice it at first. Somewhere in the distance, far enough away that it doesn't demand your attention, close enough that you can hear it if you listen, there's the sound of water. Not rushing or urgent, but flowing steadily, constantly, the way water has flowed for millennia. It might be a stream moving over smooth rocks, or a fountain in a courtyard, or a small waterfall cascading into a pool. The sound is soothing in a way that reaches something deep inside you, something primal that remembers water as source, as sustenance, as life itself. You remember. Or perhaps you just now realizing that the human body is mostly water. that you yourself are more water than anything else, that your blood is flowing through your veins in its own kind of stream, that your cells are floating in fluid, that you are, in a very real sense, a walking, thinking body of water. And perhaps that's why the sound of flowing water speaks to something so deep in you, because it's the sound of yourself, the sound of life itself, the sound of everything that flows and moves and refuses to stagnate. The path continues to curve, and you follow it without question, without needing to know where it leads. The stones beneath your feet are slightly uneven, so you have to pay attention to each step, and there's something about this that helps. This gentle requirement to be present, to notice, to feel your foot make contact with the earth and adjust to its contours. Left foot, right foot, left foot again. Simple, steady, real. Each step is its own small complete action. Lift, move forward, place down, transfer weight. Lift, move forward, place down, transfer weight. It's a rhythm that's old as humanity itself, old as any creature that's ever walked on legs. And in this rhythm, in this simple repetition, there's something meditative, something that quiets the racing thoughts and brings you into your body, into this moment, into the physical reality of being here, now, walking this particular path in this particular evening. You round the bend, and now you can see lights ahead. Not electric lights, nothing harsh or bright, but the warm, flickering glow of lanterns. They are hung at intervals along the path, perhaps from low branches, perhaps from posts you can't quite see in the gathering dusk. The light they cast is golden and soft, creating pools of illumination that overlap and blend into each other, guiding you forward without demanding anything of you. The lanterns themselves are beautiful in their simplicity. Metal frames. Perhaps iron that's been worked by a blacksmith, shaped and riveted and given a practical beauty that comes from function rather than ornament. The glass of the lanterns might be slightly amber tinted, or perhaps that's just the quality of the flame inside. Real flame, you think, candles or oil lamps, something alive and breathing like you are. Not the steady, unvarying glow of a lead, but something that flickers and shifts, that responds to air currents, that has moods and variations, that is, in its own way, alive. You pause beside one of these lanterns, close enough to feel the warmth it radiates. It's not much warmth. A candle or small flame doesn't produce the heat of a bonfire, but it's warmth nonetheless, warmth given freely to the evening air, to anyone who passes by. You hold your hands up near the lantern, not touching the hot glass but close enough to feel that gentle radiation of heat, and you watch your hands in the golden glow. Your hands look different in this light. Softer somehow, younger, or maybe not younger but more themselves. The harsh fluorescent lights you've been living under have a way of making everything look tired, washed out, older than it is. But this lantern light is kind. It doesn't hide flaws exactly, but it doesn't emphasize them either. It simply illuminates, gently, warmly, without judgment. You flex your fingers, watching how the light and shadow play across your knuckles, your palm, the lines that mark your skin with the map of your life. These hands have worked so hard, you think. They've typed and written and carried and held and pushed and pulled and done so many things, asked to do so many things, often without rest, often without appreciation. When was the last time you thanked your hands? When was the last time you acknowledged all they do for you, day after day, without complaint, without fanfare? You lower your hands slowly, curling your fingers into loose fists and then opening them again, feeling the stretch of tendons, the flex of joints. Thank you, you think, or perhaps you whisper it aloud into the evening air. Thank you, hands, for carrying me this far. For doing what I've asked of you. For holding on when I needed to hold. hold on. For letting go when I needed to let go. Thank you. You watch the fireflies for a long moment, marveling at them. These creatures who carry light within their own bodies, who create illumination through chemical reactions you don't need to understand, who signal to each other in a language of blinks and flashes, who find each other in the darkness through this simple, persistent communication. On, off. On, off. Here I am. Here I am. Here I am. And aren't you doing the same thing, in your own way? Aren't you signaling through the darkness, trying to find your way, trying to find others, trying to find yourself? On, off. Here I am. Still here. Still trying. Still searching for light, for connection, for home. The path widens slightly now, and you can see that it opens into a clearing ahead. The trees pull back, creating a space that feels both open and protected at once. As you step into this clearing, you notice the ground here is covered in soft grass, thick and cushioning beneath your feet. Not manicured or controlled, but natural, abundant, cool with evening dew that hasn't quite formed yet but is thinking about it, considering it, the way the air considers becoming rain. The grass is longer here than in a lawn, reaching up to your ankles, and walking through it creates a soft swishing sound, a whisper of blade against blade, of stem bending and then springing back. You can feel the coolness of it, the slight dampness that comes as day transitions to night, as everything begins to relax and release the heat it's been holding. The grass is soft against your skin, gentle, welcoming. You stop walking and just stand there for a moment in the center of the clearing, feeling the grass beneath your feet, feeling the air around you, feeling the vast bowl of sky above. The clearing is large enough that you can see more of the sky here, and the stars are beginning to appear, the brightest ones first, piercing through the deepening blue. You tilt your head back and look up, way up, and feel a momentary vertigo that's not unpleasant. The sense of how small you are, how vast the universe is, how many stars there are and how far away, how long their light has been traveling to reach your eyes in this moment. There's something both humbling and comforting about this vastness. Your problems, which have felt so overwhelming, so all-consuming, so impossible to carry, they don't disappear in the face of this cosmic perspective, but they do shift slightly. They remain real, remain significant, remain yours to deal with, but they also take their place as part of the great churning complexity of existence, no more or less important than anything else, just part of it all. You lower your gaze from the stars, letting it travel across the clearing, and that's when you see it clearly for the first time. The sanctuary. It sits at the far edge of the clearing, positioned where the trees begin again, as if it grew naturally from the forest itself, as if it's been here forever and will be here forevermore. It's not a grand building. There's no imposing architecture demanding your attention or making you feel small. Instead, it's something more intimate, more human in scale. Perhaps it's a cottage, or a small house, or even a collection of connected spaces that seem to have grown organically from the land itself. The walls? You can see them more clearly now as you walk closer. Might be made of stone, local stone from somewhere nearby, each piece fitted carefully to the next, creating a surface that's textured and varied, that catches the fading light in different ways. Or perhaps the walls are made of wood, weathered to silver gray by years of sun and rain and wind, wood that was once a living tree and now serves as shelter, has transformed its purpose but not its essence. Or perhaps it's a combination of both. Stone at the foundation, solid and eternal, and wood rising above it, lighter, more flexible, more alive somehow. The roof is low and sheltering, covered in what might be old tiles in shades of rust and terracotta, or perhaps wooden shingles that have weathered to various shades of gray and brown, or maybe even slate. Heavy and permanent and proof against any weather. The roof has a gentle slope that speaks of rain being guided away, of snow sliding off in season, of protection offered without fanfare. There's a chimney. Yes, you can see it now, rising from one side of the building, made of the same stone as the walls or perhaps of brick, solid and straight, and smoke is rising from it, pale gray-blue against the darkening sky, rising straight up in the still evening air before dispersing into nothing. That smoke does something to you. Something in your chest eases at the sight of it. Some tension you didn't even know you were holding releases just slightly. Smoke means fire. Fire means warmth. Fire means someone has been here, has prepared this place, has thought of your comfort before you arrived. Has laid the wood in the hearth, has struck the match or the flint, has tended the flames and made sure they were burning well, stable and strong, so that when you finally came up this path, tired and uncertain and in need of rest, there would be warmth waiting. Someone thought of you. Someone prepared for you. Someone knew you were coming and cared enough to make this place ready. You don't know who. Perhaps you'll never know. But the evidence is there in that rising smoke, in the lights you can see glowing through the windows, in the path that led you here so clearly, so inevitably. Light glows from the windows, and as you draw closer, you can see these are real windows with real glass. Wavy, antique glass perhaps, the kind that makes the light ripple and dance, the kind that's been made by hand rather than by machine, where imperfections are not flaws but signs of craft, of human touch, of something made with care. The glow coming through them is the color of honey and amber, warm and inviting, speaking of fires burning in hearts, of lamps turned low, of spaces designed for rest and restoration. There are no curtains pulled shut against you. No shades drawn, no barriers erected. The windows are open in their offering, saying, yes, this is for you, you are welcome here, come in when you're ready, come in when you need to, come in and find what you've been seeking. You walk slowly across the clearing toward the sanctuary, and with each step, you can feel something shifting in you, some internal recalibration happening. Your pace slows even more, if that's possible. Your breath deepens without you consciously directing it to. Your eyes soften, your jaw unclenches, your shoulders drop another fraction of an inch. Your body knows, even if your mind is still catching up. Your body recognizes safety when it encounters it, recognizes sanctuary, recognizes home. There are details you notice as you approach. A small garden beside the building, herbs growing in neat but not rigid rows, their scents rising as the evening dew settles on their leaves. Lavender. Yes, you can smell it now, that distinctive, calming fragrance that speaks of summer and sun and peace. Rosemary too, woody and resinous, its needle-like leaves holding their scent even in the cooling air. Perhaps sage, dusty green and soft, and thyme, low-growing and generous, and other herbs whose names you don't know but whose scents add to the overall atmosphere of this place, this complex bouquet that says, here, things grow, here, care is taken, here, attention is paid. There are terracotta pots beside the door. Yes, you can see them clearly now. Various sizes, some with more herbs, some with flowers that have closed for the night, some with plants that are simply green and growing, needing no blossoms to justify their existence. The pots themselves are beautiful. Not matching, not uniform, but clearly chosen with care, some large and round, some small and tall, some glazed in colors of cream and blue, some left in natural terracotta that's weathered to varying shades of orange and brown. The door itself is made of wood, solid and real, vertical planks held together with black iron hardware. Hinges that look hand-forged, a latch that's simple and functional, details that suggest this door has been here a long time, that it's done its job well, that it's kept weather out and warmth in, that it's open to welcome and closed to protect. And the door is slightly open, you notice now as you step onto the stone that serves as a threshold. Not wide open in a way that would feel exposed or vulnerable, but just enough to show that you're expected, that you're welcome, that you don't need to knock or announce yourself or ask permission. The gap is just wide enough to let a sliver of that golden light spill out onto the threshold, creating a bridge between the outside and the inside, between where you've been and where you're going, between the journey and the arrival. You stand there for a moment at the threshold, your hand reaching toward the door but not yet touching it. This moment feels significant somehow, though you couldn't say exactly why. It's just a door. It's just a building. You're just stepping inside to get out of the evening chill. But it feels like more than that. It feels like a choice, like a commitment, like a surrender to something you've been resisting for too long. The resistance isn't about this place. The sanctuary seems nothing but welcoming, nothing but kind. The resistance is about allowing yourself to receive care, to accept rest, to admit that you need help, that you need support, that you can't do everything alone, that it's okay. More than okay, it's necessary. To stop sometimes and let yourself be held. You take a breath, and with that breath, you let something go. Some small piece of the armor you've been wearing, the brave face you've been showing the world, the pretense that everything is fine, that you're managing, that you've got it all under control. You let it fall away, and it's such a small thing, such a subtle shift, that you might not even notice if you weren't paying attention. But you are paying attention now. You're here, present, aware. And so you reach out and place your hand on the door. The wood is smooth and surprisingly warm under your palm, as if it's been absorbing sunlight all day and is now releasing it slowly, generously, into your hand. You can feel the grain of the wood, the tiny ridges and valleys that make up its texture, the realness of it. When you push gently, the door swings open without resistance, without the slightest creak or protest. It's been cared for, you think. Someone has oiled these hinges, has maintained this entrance, has made sure that your arrival would be easy, effortless, free of any obstacle or difficulty. You step inside, and the first thing you notice is the warmth. It wraps around you immediately, not oppressive or overwhelming, but exactly the temperature your body has been craving without knowing it. The kind of warmth that makes you realize how tired you are, how much you've been holding yourself tense against the cold, against the world, against everything that's been hard. The warmth doesn't just touch your skin, it seems to penetrate deeper, reaching through your clothes, through your skin, into your muscles, your bones, your very center. You take a step inside, and then another, and the door swings closed behind you with a soft, final sound. The latch catches with a gentle click, and with that sound, something shifts completely. You're inside now. You're here. The journey, for now, is over. Whatever was chasing you, whatever you were running from or running toward, has to stay outside. This space doesn't allow those things entry. Not because it's exclusionary or rejecting, but because it exists in a different realm entirely. A realm of rest, of restoration, of simple being. The entry space is small and intimate. The ceiling is low enough to feel cozy, high enough to not be claustrophobic. The walls are the color of cream, or perhaps very pale sand, with a texture that suggests they might be plastered, lime-washed perhaps, in the old way, with layers built up over time. They seem to hold the light rather than reflect it, absorbing it and radiating it back in a softer form, creating an atmosphere of gentle luminosity. The floor is made of wide wooden planks, old and slightly uneven, with the kind of patina that only comes from age and use and care. The wood has been worn smooth by countless footsteps, darkened in some places, lighter in others, creating a map of traffic patterns, of life lived, of people coming and going over years, over decades perhaps. There's something honest about this floor, something unpretentious. It's not trying to be perfect. It's simply serving its purpose, holding you up, giving you something solid beneath your feet. There's a rug here, covering part of the floor, woven in patterns that your eyes can't quite follow in the dim light. Geometric shapes that interlock and repeat, in colors that might be rust and cream and soft blue, faded now from what they once were, sun-faded or time-faded, but no less beautiful for their fading. Your feet sink into it slightly, and the texture is both soft and somehow grounding at the same time, pile that's been compressed by use but springs back under your weight, welcoming you, accepting you. To your right, there's a small bench built into the wall, with cushions and faded fabrics. Perhaps linen, perhaps old cotton, worn soft by time and use. The cushions are squashed in the middle where countless people have sat to remove boots or shoes, to rest for a moment before entering further, to pause in the transition between outside and inside. Above the bench, there are hooks made of iron or bronze, curving gracefully from the wall, their surfaces dark with patina. Nothing hangs from them now. They're waiting, patient, for whatever you might want to leave behind. And you do want to leave things behind, you realize. Not just your coat, if you're wearing one, not just any physical burdens you might have carried here. But also the heavier things, the invisible things. The worry that's been riding your shoulders like a weight, the anxiety that's been coiling in your stomach, the doubt that's been whispering in your ear that you're not enough, that you're failing, that you should be doing more, being more, trying harder. Those things can't come further into this space. They can stay here, in this entry, hanging from these hooks if they need to hang somewhere. Or they can simply disperse, evaporate, cease to have power over you, at least for now, at least while you're here, at least while you're being held by this place that asks nothing of you except that you allow yourself to rest. You sit on the bench for a moment, needing to acknowledge the transition, needing to let your body catch up with where you are. The cushion beneath you is soft and giving, and you can feel yourself sinking into it slightly, can feel the support it offers. You lean back against the wall, and the wall is solid and cool and completely dependable. It's not going anywhere. It's been here for years, probably, holding up this roof, enclosing this space, doing its job without complaint or drama. Just being a wall. Being enough. You close your eyes for a moment, just breathing. Breathing in the scent of this place. Wood smoke, yes, that comes from deeper in the house, and also herbs, lavender perhaps from those pots by the door, and beeswax maybe, from candles burning somewhere, and underneath it all, something warm and indefinable, the scent of old wood and clean linens and simple care. Your feet are still bare, you realize, and the floor feels good against them. Cool but not cold, smooth but with enough texture to be interesting, to be real. You flex your toes against the wood, feeling it, grounding yourself in the physical reality of where you are. Here. Now. Inside. Safe. When you open your eyes again, you see that the entry opens into a larger room ahead. The light is coming from there, warm and inviting, and you can hear sounds now that you're inside and quiet. The soft crackle and pop of burning wood, and underneath that, perhaps the tick of a clock somewhere, steady and unhurried, marking time without demanding anything of it. No shrill alarms, no urgent buzzes, just tick-tock, tick-tock, the quiet heartbeat of the house. You stand slowly, leaving your temporary resting place on the bench, and you take a few steps forward, through a wide doorway that has no door, just an opening that frames the room beyond, like a painting, like a promise. And when you step through, when you enter this main room of the sanctuary, you feel something in your chest that you haven't felt in so long you'd almost forgotten the sensation. It's not quite relief, not yet. It's more like the possibility of relief. Like your body remembering that relief is something that can exist, that can be felt, that can be real. Like a door opening in your heart, just a crack, just enough to let in a sliver of hope that says, maybe you don't have to carry everything alone. Maybe you can rest, maybe you can let go, maybe you can be held. The room is larger than you expected, but not overwhelming. The ceiling here is higher than in the entry, with exposed beams of dark wood crossing overhead. The beams are hand-hewn, you think. You can see the marks where tools shaped them, where human hands transformed tree into shelter, where someone took the time to do this work carefully, thoughtfully, creating something that would last, that would hold, that would serve its purpose for years and years to come. There's something about this evidence of craft, of care, of someone taking time to build something solid and real, that makes you feel held. This building was made by humans, for humans, with attention and skill and probably love. Someone knew what they were doing. Someone cared about doing it well. And that care has created a space that can now care for you, can hold you, can provide what you need. The far wall is dominated by a fireplace, and yes, there's the fire you knew must be here, the source of the smoke you saw rising from the chimney, the source of so much of the warmth and light in this room. It's burning steadily, not roaring or dramatic, just doing its work with quiet competence. The flames are golden and orange and occasionally blue at the base where the hottest burning happens, dancing and shifting, mesmerizing if you let yourself watch them, hypnotic in their constant movement, their endless transformation of solid wood into heat and light and ash. The wood crackles softly, and occasionally a spark floats up toward the chimney, bright and brief and beautiful, like a tiny star being born and dying in the span of a heartbeat. The hearth is made of stone, probably local stone from somewhere nearby, fitted together without mortar, held by skill and gravity and time. The stones of the hearth are dark with soot in some places, showing where smoke has touched them over years of fires, but they are solid and real and doing their job of containing the fire, of keeping it safe, of allowing it to burn without danger. In front of the fireplace, there's a seating area that looks like it's been waiting specifically for you. A large, deep sofa. Or perhaps it's more like a daybed. Is positioned to face the fire, angled slightly so you can watch the flames while lying down, while resting, while letting yourself be warmed and lulled and comforted. It's covered in fabric that might be old velvet, or soft wool, or faded linen, in a color that's hard to name in this light. Perhaps it's the color of twilight itself, or of moss and shadow, or of smoke and fog and gentle rain all mixed together. What you know immediately, without question, without doubt, is that it looks comfortable in a way that makes your entire body ache with wanting to sink into it. Your muscles, which have been tense for so long, which have been holding you upright and together and functional through sheer force of will, practically cry out at the sight of this sofa, this promise of support, this invitation to release and rest. There are cushions, many cushions, in various sizes and shapes, some round, some square, some long and bolster-like, arranged in a way that suggests they've been placed thoughtfully, carefully, with consideration for what a tired body might need. They're covered in different fabrics, different textures. Some smooth, some nubby, some with the worn softness that comes from many washings, many years, many people finding comfort in them. The colors are muted and harmonious, soft grays, warm creams, dusty blues, faded roses, sage greens. Nothing is new or shiny or demanding attention. Everything has been chosen. All has evolved, has found its way here over time, to create an atmosphere of absolute comfort and safety. There are blankets too, draped over the back of the sofa and folded on a nearby chair. Thick blankets, soft blankets, blankets that look like they've been well loved and well used, that have wrapped around shoulders on cold evenings, that have covered sleepers, that have provided comfort in countless small moments. Some might be wool, scratchy in that good way that somehow makes you feel more alive, more present in your body. Some might be cotton, washed 1,000 times until they're as soft as clouds, as gentle as a mother's touch. There's at least one that looks like it might be handmade, knitted or crocheted by someone who put love into every stitch, creating something whose only purpose is to provide warmth and comfort to whoever needs it. The sight of these blankets, of their casual abundance, of the way they are offered without condition or limit, does something to you. When was the last time you let yourself be covered, be warmed, be cared for in such a simple, basic way? When was the last time you gave yourself permission to need something as fundamental as warmth, as uncomplicated as softness? To the side of the seating area, there's a low table made of wood that's been worn smooth by use. The surface has that deep patina that only comes from years of hands touching it, of cups being set down, of books being placed and picked up, of life being lived around it. The table isn't fancy. It has no carvings or inlays or ornamental details. But it has presence, it has substance, it has that quality of being exactly what it needs to be. On this table, you notice, there are a few things arranged with care. A ceramic pitcher filled with water, the kind of water that tastes different from any water you've had in a long time. Pure and clean and cold, drawn perhaps from a well or a spring, water that quenches thirst in a way that's almost spiritual. Beside it, a glass waiting to receive it. The glass is simple, clear, the kind that's been used so many times it's developed a soft frosted quality from years of dishwashing, from being held, from serving its simple purpose faithfully. There's a small bowl of something, perhaps dried fruit, perhaps nuts, perhaps honeycomb. Nothing demanding, nothing that requires effort to consume, but something available if hunger calls. Beside it, a small cloth napkin, soft and worn, a faded pattern barely visible on its surface. Everything here is designed for comfort, for ease, for the person sitting here not to have to ask or reach far or demand anything. Everything has been anticipated, prepared, offered. There's also a book on the table, face down as if someone has just set it there, has just stepped away and will return to it soon. You don't know what the book is. You can't quite see the cover from where you stand. But somehow it doesn't matter. Whether you read it or not, whether you even pick it up, it's here. This room is set up for all possibilities, all needs, all ways of being that might arise when a weary traveler finally finds rest. The light in this room comes partly from the fire, partly from lamps placed at intervals on side tables and shelves. The lamps have warm-toned shades, linen perhaps, or old silk, in colors of cream and soft gold, that filter the light and make it gentle, make it kind, make it easy on eyes that have been strained from staring at screens, from trying to see clearly in a world that rarely shows its truth, that often obscures rather than illuminates. There are also candles burning in various places. On the mantel above the fireplace, on side tables, perhaps in the corners. Their light adding to the overall warmth and softness of the space. The light from candles is different from the light from lamps or fires. It's more intimate somehow, more personal, like a conversation in a whisper rather than a speech delivered to a crowd. Each candle is a small act of illumination, a small gift of light from someone who cared enough to strike a match, to light a flame, to keep it burning. And woven through all of this light, all of this warmth, is a profound sense of quiet. Not silence. Silence can be harsh, can feel like emptiness. But quiet. The kind of quiet that holds sound without fear, that allows the crackle of fire and the tick of the clock and the soft sigh of the wind outside to be heard distinctly, individually, without being overwhelmed by louder noise. This is a quiet that says, you're safe here, you can rest, there's nothing demanding your attention, nothing requiring action or response or energy. It's the quiet of a space that has been carefully designed, intentionally built, deliberately created to be a refuge. And as you stand in this quiet, as you let it settle around you, as you let your nervous system begin to recognize safety, something inside you begins to ease. Not all at once. The tension you've been carrying doesn't simply vanish. But it softens, it loosens just slightly. It begins to remember what it felt like to not be wound so tight, not be braced for danger, not be holding everything together by sheer force of will. You take a step toward the sofa, and then another. Your feet move slowly, as if in water, as if you're not quite sure your legs will remember how to carry you, but they do. They do. And with each step, you feel yourself becoming more present in your body, more real, more there. You reach the sofa and sit slowly, carefully, as if you're afraid it might disappear or prove to be less solid than it appears. But it holds you. It receives your weight without protest, and as you sink into it, you feel the fatigue in your body become suddenly, sharply real. The kind of fatigue that only becomes apparent when you finally let yourself be still, when you finally stop moving, when you finally stop fighting. You lean back, and the cushions embrace you. You reach for one of the blankets, and it unfolds in your arms, warm and soft and welcoming. And as you pull it around yourself, as you settle into the sofa, as you watch the fire dance and flicker and do what fires do, you feel yourself beginning to let go. The sanctuary holds you. The warmth surrounds you. The quiet settles over you like a benediction, like a blessing, like permission. Finally given, finally received. To rest. And as your eyes grow heavy, as your breathing begins to deepen and slow, as the boundary between waking and sleeping begins to blur and soften, you know, beyond doubt, beyond question, that you are exactly where you need to be. You are home. And it is enough.